So, going to a friend's wedding in Madison, and it's actually surprisingly short flight to Milwaukee, but then we have to drive there. And I hear there's a poker game going on. Two. But, well, they don't know that. We're probably only going to one poker game.
But I'm going.
You gonna play?
Are you gonna bring me money?
So, pardon my, actually let's turn the damn heat off. Pardon my shabby appearance. I am on vacation, so sorry, but not that sorry. Very much on vacation, so, you know, you're just gonna have to deal. Couple things. The last video absolutely killed it. It smashed all recent videos. I know the thumbnail had a lot to do with that. I know the big stack in the video had a lot to do with that. But actually, you guys had a lot to do with that too. Everybody who likes, comments, that does a huge amount for the videos, for the channel. So I really appreciate it if you guys would smash that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and leave me a comment letting me know how your holiday was, because I would love to hear it, and it will also help this video destroy all previous Matt Vaughan vlogs. Okay, so getting into this video, I was in Madison, Wisconsin for a wedding of a friend of mine, actually a friend of Mickey's. So we went out there, and it just so happened that we arrived on a Friday night. Our friends who we were staying with didn't have a room available right away, or rather they weren't home because maybe they were at I think they were at the rehearsal dinner, and I got a cool invite from Ricky. So Ricky is a guy who's super active in the Madison poker community. Shout out to everybody from Madison. Give me a comment if you're from Madison. Miss you guys a lot. I used to live in Madison, for those of you who don't know. Way back when I started this vlog, we had a couple videos from Madison before I actually moved. That was cool to get back there. I got to play with a couple people who I got to know very well in my 2.5, 3 years in Madison, as well as a bunch of course, just new people. But the thing I've always found really cool about Madison is it seems like it's such a thriving poker community in general, but also every game that you sit in, for the most part, like in a home game atmosphere, everybody is super welcoming to new players. So even though like I had the special invite from Ricky who reached out to me, you know, it was sort of like not, it wasn't contrived, you know, everybody was just super friendly. So very fun game atmosphere, first of all. Huge shout out to Ricky for the invite, for hosting me, and you know, letting me get some footage as well. So that was awesome, but now we got to get into some of these hands. So again, kind of just on a little bit of a whim, ended up at this game. Knew I was only going to be there a couple hours, but wanted to get into some of the hands. So starting out, there's an early position limp, and this is literally my first hand sitting down. I look down at pocket aces. This is a 1-3 game, and because it's the first hand, I don't really know what the standard open sizes are or anything like that. So I decided to raise it up to 15, which is a little bit on the small side compared to what I would do normally, but I definitely don't want to lose action going to my normal size if this is going to be a game with smaller sizes. So I make it 15 for middle position, and the hijack just jams 100. Now she's literally rebought for this 100 on this hand. So it's my first hand sitting down, her first hand getting back. Folds around to me. Obviously, we have the best hand possible in this game, so we call, and she has queen 10 of spades. The board runs out, queen 10 deuce, all hearts, and I have no hearts. So looking for sort of a miracle run out here. The turn keeps hope alive, gives us a couple additional outs with the king of diamonds. So we can hit a gutter, we can hit an ace, but the river's a brick, and aces go down in flames. Very first hand, was pretty happy to only lose 100, but it also feels like I may not have lost a lot more than that on a board like Queen 10 Deuce all hearts. So, you know, kind of I'll take it, but also not the best way to start the session. So immediately down a bit, I think I pick up a couple small pots because next hand I'm sitting on 350. Early position limps, middle position limps. I have ace queen of diamonds in the hijack and I bump it up to 18. Early position makes it 75 and he's got about 250 behind. Typically a limp re-raise like this, I would be very wary. I would expect that, you know, most players would not do this with a wide range, but now we've played a few hands in the session. I've seen this player play a little bit. I don't really think his range is like just aces or just kings plus. I think it's like a lot more hands than that, especially since I've been sort of aggressive. And I think the perception, because I'm coming in as the vlogger or whatever, this is not a player I've played with, is sort of that I'll be a little bit more aggressive, a little more kind of attacking. So when it folds around to me, I actually just go ahead and jam, and early position snaps. He just snaps. So I was kind of concerned for sure. He decides to run it once, and the board runs out 975 with 2 diamonds, so not a bad board for us, actually. The turn is the 6 of hearts, though, which is, I would say, a pretty bad card, and the river is the 4 of diamonds, so we do make a flush. I don't believe he showed what he had, but based on his body language throughout the hand, I do not think that we were particularly far behind. He may have had a pair or something. I think he even said pair when the flop came, so he might have even had like a 10-9 suited, ace-9 suited kind of hand. But I used to take that one down, double through off of a 350 stack, and get back to Eventown, up to a little bit of Profitville, perhaps. So next hand, 700 in the stack. We've got King 10 offsuit in the cutoff and bump it up to 15. The small blind just jams for 47. Folds around to me, and this guy has gotten it in a few times, and obviously is so little behind that even if I hadn't seen him get it in sort of wide a few times, I would probably still get it in here. So I do decide to call, and we run it once. Kind of crazy, by the way, to have a 1-3 game where you can run it twice. It's like kind of cool, but in most situations at 1-3, I would not really be running it twice. For the most part, I mean, my opinion, I could go on a tangent here about my opinion on running it twice, but instead of that, why don't you guys just leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about running it twice, and maybe I'll talk about it in the next video. Anyway, we decide to run it once. He actually has Queen 10 offsuit, and the board runs out King, King 4, so pretty good start for us. Ace on the turn technically keeps him alive with a gutter, but the river's a brick, so we get to stack that player, and I think he picked up after that. He really wasn't running well, which was, I think, why he stopped topping up. So next hand, we're playing actually with my buddy Mike Antonelli, who not only did I get to know him pretty well in Madison, we worked at the same company and played poker together, but I've also, you know, met up with him a few times just while traveling, where we both happened to be in Vegas at the same time, stuff like that. So good to see him, but you know, it's not like I haven't seen him for 3 years. I've actually seen him on and off. So kind of funny to see him in this game. We didn't like really coordinate, but he kind of told me he'd be there a little bit ahead of time. So good to see him, Mike. In this hand, where somehow like an hour and a half, 2 hours in, Mike and I haven't played a hand together yet, he opens to 15 mil position, and I call in the big blind. Probably will never happen. I was not. Haven't looked. True. It has to happen. I haven't looked.
I thought you were in a 3-bet.
I mean, I'm gonna look if I'm gonna 3-bet. I mean, this is definitely not like a profitable decision. To be clear, I'm not doing this because it's like plus EV. I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm playing a somewhat smaller game in a home game dynamic where I'm mostly there to have fun, play with some cool people, and just play a hand with Mike here. So I call blind, and the flop comes Jack 10 Deuce Rainbow. I check. He bets 20, and at this point, I do think we have to look at our hand. I can't just continue calling blind.
In the last season in RC Fantasy, I'm doing bad in the last few weeks, but
I mean, it's like pretty good for not looking.
It's so weird that my
for not looking. So I look down at King 9 offsuit and I make the call. I think a gutter is plenty here. I think he's going to c-bet his entire range when we've called blind pre-flop. So we go heads up to a turn here, which is a total brick. I didn't even get the full board down. Sorry about that. It's probably like a 3 or a 4. I check, and he somehow decides to check it back after giving a speech about
How much value role playing this week picked up Kenyon Drake?
So take that for what it's worth. I kind of thought that he was not that strong here. Maybe he had like an ace high sort of hand, but not really a value hand. Maybe like third pair at the most. So on a river brick again, I start reaching for chips because I'm probably going to bet here, and I'm playing this sort of bet big because I want to get him off ace high. I want to get him off like, I don't know, like I'm probably never getting him off of a 10, but something like pocket sixes, something of that nature. I also can do this with a jack because I think he's never stronger than like second pair. So like any jack in my range, probably the strongest 10s in my range, I can bet big with all those hands. Those are effectively polarized, like sort of nuttish holdings, I think, when he takes this line. So I start reaching for chips, and he actually insta-mucks. I don't even get the chance to put a bet out. He just mucks it right away.
All right, I'll bite.
I didn't hear that.
You've got a better grasp on it.
Thank God I don't have it in a single league. But
Would you do a blank and you fold it?
I mean, I was reaching. That's probably the best hand. It was just auto muck.
We play a hand blind and managed to take that one down. There's a very good chance that we were somehow ahead here too. You could easily have like a 7-6 offsuit, 7-6 suited, whatever kind of holding, but it felt good in the moment. So this next hand, we've got 850 in the stack, the hijack limps, and I'm in the cutoff with King 9 offsuit again. Kind of thin here. This would be like the stone bottom of my opening range from the cutoff, so with a limper, you could definitely just fold, but I do decide to make it 15.
Right.
It's not a coincidence that Mike's in the big blind either, so I'm probably going to open a little bit wider when that's true. He makes the call, and the hijack calls as well. The flop comes down Jack 9-4 with 2 clubs, and it checks to me. I think I could definitely go for a bet here, but I think with Mike in the hand, I can possibly get him to stab later streets. I certainly have enough showdown value to just check down, and I'm potentially gonna get only called by better hands, or not better, but across multiple streets, better hands, and then hands that have a ton of equity. So this one, I decide to just check. Turn is the 7 of hearts, so it does complete some stuff, but it brings in another flush draw, and no bets winning on the flop, so it's not like we can put people on a ton of straight draws. Mike leads for 25, hijack folds, and I think we have a pretty clear call. The river is the 7 of diamonds, so it's offsuit, doesn't complete any flushes, doesn't complete any more straights further, and Mike now bets 100.
Bet.
What is that?
100.
So when he does this, bets 25 and then 100, he's definitely polarizing himself a little bit. Now, Mike is definitely capable of betting a slightly thinner hand for value here than most people would be. Like when he bets 25 into 45, pot's 95, bets 100. It's basically pot. He definitely doesn't have to be as polarized as a lot of people. He doesn't have to have a 7 or a straight or a boat or nothing. Like he can absolutely have some Jack X hands. But it is Mike. I've already gotten him in one hand. I think the game flow sort of dictates he's gonna try to blast me off of my ace highs here, which is a good spot for him. I don't think it's like a bad bet if he does bet like a huge portion of his range, but I have a hand that's a little too high up. It beats every bluff in his range, which I think there are many of. And so getting 2-1, he always has to be bluffing a certain amount. So I tossed in the call, and he doesn't even show. He just mucks it.
I mean, am I really gonna like just
I heard
fold a pair? Probably not, right?
Are they charging for parking? They were when I was here.
I'm in. Nice haircut, dude.
Tell him he needs to get one.
Makes you look a little older.
You have no team?
Call.
Good call.
Yeah, I guess we will.
9s and 7s.
We get to take this one down, beat Mike in a second hand of the night, and always a little bit fun to beat your friends. So let me know what you thought of that hand down below. Again, commenting giving it a thumbs up. All of that is a huge bonus to the channel. It really helps it out. So I really appreciate that. Don't forget, we have Discord now, so there will be a link down below to joining the Discord channel. It's actually already got like 30 to 40 people in it, so people are hanging out in there, kind of just chatting, hanging out. I hope that some sorts of like hand discussion will start popping up here and there, but you know, it's going to be whatever we make it. So if you want to get in there and sort of help shape it to be the way you want it to be, I'm cool with that. But otherwise, yeah, it's been amazing getting back into making the videos a little more consistently. I really appreciate you guys pushing me to do that. I'm really pumped to be putting out this content as I have been, and to see it kind of trending in the right direction over the last, you know, month or two. So thank you guys all so much for your support. I will see you all in the next video, and I hope everybody had a safe and happy holidays. Take care.